reports of an armed and dangerous person. We have just learned a suspect has been arrested.
Students and staff sheltered in classrooms for about an hour as police swarmed campus. These are pictures inside as students took cover. You can see them huddling in classrooms as alarms went off around campus.
WFMY News 2's Hannah Jeffries is live on campus this afternoon with an update. Hannah.
That's right, Chad. I got here a little around 2 p.m. this afternoon, right before the lockdown was lifted, and it really was like a ghost town. And since then, thankfully, this university has become what it was always meant to be, an active. You guys remember we were here just a little over 2 weeks ago, and students say that it was a similar situation. They were in the same classroom when that happened too. Now, it all started this afternoon when UNC Chapel Hill police sent out an alert that said there was an armed and dangerous person on campus. The alert was sent out at 12:55, and police told students and staff to remain inside and away from windows. Some students say when they got the alert, they barricaded themselves into classrooms or closets. One student says he ran when he heard a man had a gun.
So I was right outside of the Union, and there was a guy and he pulled a gun. I don't know exactly what it was about, but we all ran to Davis. I was outside, so I didn't hear anything. The second he pulled the gun, we all just ran.
Now, many students tell me that this traumatic situation was similar to the feelings they had a little over 2 weeks ago when police say a UNC student shot a professor. Now, the university says there are mental health resources for students to take advantage of. One organization will be open until 6 p.m. this afternoon. For now, live in Chapel Hill, I'm Hannah Jeffries, WFMY News 2.
Hannah, thank you. UNC lifted the lockdown about an hour after it went into effect.
And during that time, we spoke to a student who was sheltering in place who shared her reaction to the turn of events, considering she did the same thing just 16 days ago.
So this is during the same class period that the last shooting happened. So a bunch of I don't have class right now, that's why I'm in the library, but a bunch of my friends are in the same room with the same people that this happened last time. So obviously, this just adds to the trauma and fear of just being in that space.
WFMY News 2's Nixon Norman was also on campus 16 days ago. She's live after speaking with more students this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. Again, we're going to keep saying that we're here only 16 days after the last armed and dangerous person here at UNC's campus. If you remember last time, I spoke with Simran Panda, a freshman student who felt there weren't clear protocols put in place last time. And while she says things seem to have been better or more direct this time, she was hiding in the same class in the same closet as last time. Here she is.
I think everyone knew what to do a little better this time, but honestly, that's depressing. That is sad. That is horrific that we know what to do now. And the fact that it even happened again and we're able to talk about how we took it better is almost dystopian. This shouldn't be happening.
We'll be out here all afternoon throughout to the night, getting interactions and talking to students about those protocols and if they feel like they had more protocols put in place and just how they feel again after 16 days just happened where an armed and dangerous person happened here on the campus. We'll talk to them about how they feel, what protocols were put in place, how that's been doing better, and we'll talk to you guys again in the studio live in Chapel Hill. I'm Nixon Norman, WFMY News 2.
Nixon, thank you. As you can imagine, it's been a challenging day for students, staff, and all of their families.
That's right. WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller is also on campus talking to students as things go back to normal. Denise.
Yeah, I'm here live at the Student Center where there is a lot of different mixed reactions. Some students are talking to me and telling me that they are just unsure and surprised and in disbelief that they are back in this situation in just a short 2 weeks. As we all have mentioned, I've seen students sitting on the curb looking like they are still in a sense of distress, but we have seen some students waiting on some of these buses to take them off campus, take them to their dorms because there are no classes for the rest of the day today. I did speak with one student who says that she was in a little bit more of a sense of relief this go around than last time. She says with the first shooting, she was near the scene of where the active shooter was. This go around, she was much further from that scene, and she says that she was confident in campus police taking action as swiftly as they could. She says that she was happy with the result and that this person was arrested and that students are safe. She does plan to go ahead and go home and go to work for the evening. She says she doesn't really want to sit still and think about everything. She would rather just go to work and try to move past what happened today. But we'll, of course, stay out here and talk to some of these students about what they experienced during another lockdown just 2 weeks after the first one that happened, where there was a deadly shooting. We'll continue to keep you updated.
All right, Denise, thank you. And we've heard from a couple of people now, and it's important to remember that many of these students were sheltering in the same place where they did today.
Campus went on lockdown around the same time after police say a graduate student shot and killed an associate professor. The university sounded the alarms, telling everyone to shelter in place for hours. Students and staff were forced to shelter in classrooms, and some were even spotted jumping out of windows you can see right here on your screen.
Police quickly released a picture of the person of interest, who turned out to be a man by the name of Tay Lei Chi. They arrested him 90 minutes later and lifted the lockdown later that afternoon.
Tai Lei Chi is in the Orange County Jail on no bond. He's charged with first-degree murder and for bringing a gun onto educational property. He'll be back in court next Monday.
Chi is accused of shooting and killing Zhu Jin Yen. There were multiple memorials to honor his life in the days following. Hard to believe that here we are talking about this again, just such a short time later.
At the same place, on the same campus, same students as well too, and staff. It's just devastating to hear that was taking place.
Well, and when we broke into programming earlier today and we had that student, Margaret Freeman, on there, she said, I was in the same library at the same place that had happened the first time around. And she had said that, and she was so open and honest with this interview. It was really amazing. She said, it took me until yesterday to go back into Davis Library, and it happened again today.
Wow.
So there's going to be a lot of healing. It takes time.
And you have a close relationship with their families.
Yes.
So I imagine that was difficult for you, hearing her in such a terrible situation.
Yeah, I started tearing up when we were on the set because her father was my best friend since first grade, and we roomed all 4 years at Carolina. Okay. And I had just gotten a notification from him a month ago. He goes, hey, we're moving Margaret in today, and she was one door over from where we were in Chapel Hill. So all of that, and I just keep thinking about her college experience and how all these kids it takes some time to heal from this.
You can even just see from the footage and from some of our live shots with our reporters that it just looks like a very chilling environment there. Students are going to take the time to heal, support one another during a difficult time like this that happened yet once again.
I noticed, I don't know if you guys saw this too, I noticed the body language of the students whenever they were finally given the all clear was a lot more relaxed than it was the time before. And I guess we don't know all the details yet. In fact, honestly, some of the students may know a little more than we know. But until that comes out, we don't know exactly what happened. But they looked like they were more relaxed and more confident that the administration was handling it.
I'm hopeful that it's more that there wasn't actually a shooting compared to last time, and not just the complacency and just the understanding that, hey, this is our new reality.
I spoke to Brian James, who used to be our police chief, is now at UNC Police, a few days after the first incident, and he said that if you don't get information for us, it's only because that we have to tie up some loose ends and make sure we have all of our ducks in a row. So I'm sure we'll get information. It was a quick resolution today, too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we are expecting to get new information as this story develops. As always, our app followers will be the first to get any updates. Well, we all got Amber Alerts on our phone early this morning. It was for an 11-month-old baby in Rockingham County. Police in Greensboro say they found the baby safe in Greensboro under an hour later and arrested 2 suspects.
Police say the women took the baby after breaking into the mother's home and beating her up. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake has more information about today's scary turn of events.
11-month-old Dallas Berger is back at home tonight after investigators say Atiyah Douglas and Kenya Robinson kidnapped him early this morning. I was able to have a brief conversation with the mother, Jasmine Allen. She's okay, she's shaken, but blessed to have her son back home. Now, this is the home where the kidnapping happened. Mayodan police say someone reported a breaking and entering child abduction on North 4th Avenue around 1 a.m. this morning. Allen told me the 2 women broke into her home through a window, and while one of them assaulted her, the other, she says, took her son. Allen says she ran out of her home after the car to try to get a tag number. Just before 9 a.m. today, the baby was found in an apartment complex near East Wendover Avenue in Greensboro. Police say with his father. Thankfully, the baby is okay and back at home in Muscadine. Police charged both women with breaking and entering with intent to terrorize or injure. The baby's mother, Jasmine Allen, has minor injuries and was released from the hospital today. Allen says she's also 8 months pregnant. I briefly spoke with the grandmother of the 11-month-old, and she told me the family is just happy to have the baby home and hopes those responsible get the maximum punishment.
All right, let's switch gears here and talk about our forecast because we have good news on the horizon, especially for those of you that are fans of fall in North Carolina. And who is it? It's one of the best seasons here. 83 degrees in Greensboro and High Point. Winston-Salem, you have 82. Look up toward the mountain community. Same situation as yesterday. Most of our showers for now are back up north and west. They will be moving here, but that's why the temperatures are even cooler than you would expect in that difference between the mountain and foothills and our area. They're in the 70s, in some cases lower 70s. Tonight, we'll see that isolated storm, a chance of that. 64 for the overnight low. Tomorrow's high only 78. Most of the rain that we're seeing now stretches from Stokes County back down through Yadkin County. Again, that is moving to the east, so we'll watch for some spotty thunderstorm activity. We'll have more on the forecast coming up.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup today. Elements Burlington Schools says it's now addressing mold found in its central services building, which is basically the district office. Staff members are now working in other areas while they take a few days to remove that mold. The news comes just days after the district finished cleaning and testing dozens of schools for mold growth. Students finally went back to school on Monday after 2 weeks of delays. To make up for the lost time, the district converted 2 half-days to full days and is asking families and staff how they can cover the rest.
Guilford County Schools is dealing with HVAC issues of their own at 2 campuses. Students at Triangle Lake Montessori were back in the building today after reports of the school's AC unit not working properly. The district was forced to close Triangle Lake yesterday. Meanwhile, the issues at Western Guilford High School are taking a little longer to repair. Students there are learning remotely through Thursday.
GCS and UNC Greensboro are teaming up to get more STEM teachers into the classroom. They say they want to close the gap by covering tuition for math and science teachers getting master's in teaching degrees. The program also encourages teachers to continue their careers in our state. In return, participants commit to teaching in GCS 1 year for each semester they're in the program. We'll be right back.
A gym in downtown Greensboro is salvaging what is left after severe thunderstorms rolled through the area, bringing lots of rain. I mean, check out what happened at AWOL Fitness on East Washington Street right here on your screen. The owner says flooding damaged the gym.
The water damage has come probably 3/4 of the floor of our gym, which has saturated the entire floor. The turf area of our gym is one of the most expensive parts of our floor, which is roughly about $7,000 worth of artificial turf, which has probably going to put us out of service for about a week.
Coach Lynch says the process to remove the water and clean the mess is underway. For now, the gym location in downtown Greensboro will be closed until everything is fixed.
No surprise that that happened over there, because think about all of the flooding damage that we saw across Greensboro last night.
It was a lot of water.
It's quick. You know, when it comes down that quick, there's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, with everything going underway, I know how popular this gym is as well, too. And we work with Coach Lynch in the morning time for the morning show as well, too. But hopefully they'll have a swift cleanup process. But I can't imagine. Definitely a place that folks love to go and work out and you know, get in shape. So
he's so tough, nothing will stop that guy. So
yeah,
he'll be back up and running in no time.
Let's hope we don't have that kind of rain in the forecast.
Yes, we have a couple of showers now, but they're actually starting to kind of fizzle out a little bit, and most of it, just like yesterday at this hour, is north and west of us. Doesn't mean you won't see that or the possibility is gone. That's not the case at all. We still see a chance even into the evening. But most of this is down around the Hickory area. Now, Moxville, you might get a little shower in Davie County because we're seeing some of that. The only severe thunderstorm warning that's out there right now is right around Hickory. So that's in Catawba County, and the wind speeds with that about 60 miles per hour. Possibility of some hail in there. I know we've seen some lightning, but you can see a lot of the rain in Yadkin County toward Yadkinville is starting to dissipate a little bit, but there's Moxville at the bottom of the screen there. So still that area of instability or the rain, thunderstorm activity could move by. Now, the front is still back to the west, but it will move through and it ushers in really comfortable air for us. I mean, that high pressure to the north brings in a way better situation from an air standpoint. And then notice Lee off the coast, that'll be steered back to the north courtesy of that cold front, and the steering currents take it away from our coastline, and that is a very good thing. Now, when you talk about our long-range forecast, remember the average high when you take a look at this, okay? So normal high is in the top right corner of your screen. That's 82. And we'll go with 78 tomorrow, but that humidity or the lack thereof makes it even a more comfortable 78 than what we would normally talk about. How about an overnight low? Now, tomorrow morning, 64. But now once we get that lower humidity and the cooler air moving in, that low goes to 54 Friday, which means in our mountain communities and higher elevations, we'll probably see some 40s for overnight lows. That'll be Friday morning, not tomorrow morning. But 76, that's the coolest high temperature of the week on Friday. And we bounce back. Again, I said, remember the normal high. It's around 82. So Saturday, sunny and 79. That's beautiful. There's a slight chance of a shower or storm on Sunday, but really it's only a 30%. Notice how we're seeing more days without those typical summertime late day showers. So we're shifting into the next season, right? 80 for the high Sunday, then mostly sunny by next week, Monday, Tuesday, beautiful, mostly dry, pleasant conditions, right around 80 and lots of sunshine. And by Wednesday of next week, we tick up 1 degree, but still every one of these temperatures are at least a degree, if not more, below normal. Wednesday's high at 81 with partly cloudy skies.
There's a big debate going down right about now where you live and the way you speak. There are few things more Southern than a Southern accent, but soon it could become a thing of the past.
The Southern accent is rapidly disappearing, and Gen Zs might be to blame. Let's connect the dots. For years, linguists across the country have seen a decline in the classic Southern drawl, and the younger generation might be the nail in its coffin. Researchers in Georgia listened to hundreds of hours of archived speech recordings starting in the late 1900s. The study found that today's college students don't sound like their parents. And while Gen Z might get the blame for the decline in accents, research shows the decline started much earlier. The most notable changes were found between baby boomers and Gen X, born between 1965 and 1982. And it's not just happening in the South. Loss of these regional accents can be seen from California to Boston. In large part, it's thanks to more people moving around the country and the internet. And that is connecting the dots.
This is funny.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. Let me tell you, when I moved to Tampa, Florida, I tried so hard to get rid of a Southern. I was working as hard as I could, even though, because Florida's not really like the South, right? Everybody's transplant.
Depends on where you are.
That's true. You're right. In big cities, it's more like northeastern United States. As soon as you get out in the rural areas, you might as well be here.
Yeah.
And so I worked really hard, and I got an email 3 months into it, said, I love watching you because I feel like I'm right back in rural Georgia. I said, well, I guess it's not working. So.
Yeah, when I went to college, my accent changed just a little bit. From Georgia and then going to Mississippi, my accent became a little bit more country, more Southern a little bit. And then once I came back to Georgia, I still had it a little bit. And so my parents and my sister would say, look at you sound so much more Southern. And I think that's what they mentioned, like when you go to college and you're around people, especially if you're coming from a different state, that it's easy for you to gain some of those,
I mean, Chad, to me, he has no Wisconsin. I don't hear Wisconsin.
So I grew up with a thick upper Midwest accent, and when I moved to Florida for college, I got made fun of so much, and I knew that to get a job anywhere outside of the Midwest in TV, I had to lose it. And so I spent like a year and a half, and I focused on everything I was saying to try to get rid of it.
So, but even in person, like when we're off air, I don't hear it with you.
Right, yeah, because I got rid of it.
That's
like,
amazing.
All the way around.
I have friends from Ohio, and to me, people from Ohio don't really have an accent. Like
I don't ever hear that much about Ohio in terms of accents. Yeah.
Like Minnesota, Wisconsin, yes. The Northeast, the South, you don't hear it.
It is surprising to me. I am so fascinated by where did accents even originate? Like how did it happen? How did people in Boston sound so different than people in Mississippi or Alabama? I mean, like, how is that even possible?
We need to have a linguist, is that right? We need to have them come on and talk about that. Would be really interesting. Anyway, think about that. Let us know what is your favorite and worst accent on Facebook. We'll be back.
All right, let's get to the big story of the day. We have just learned Chapel Hill police arrested a man connected to a lockdown at UNC this afternoon. We've also just learned UNC police and the university will be holding a news conference to update us on the ongoing situation coming up at 5 o'clock. Stay with us and we will bring it to you live when it happens. Now, police say the suspect in this case, Michael Harris, was already wanted on unrelated charges. The school chancellor says someone pulled a gun on campus, but no shots were fired. At this point, it's unclear if Harris is the one accused of doing that.
It is now all clear on campus. The school sent out an alert to shelter in place because of an armed and dangerous person around campus. And this is video of campus this afternoon. You can see law enforcement cars on campus that you just previously saw right here in this footage. And the school gave the all clear about 90 minutes later and has now canceled classes for the rest of the day. And these are pictures from inside a lecture hall. A UNC sophomore student sent us these as he and his classmates sheltered in place for the second time in the last 3 weeks. You can hear those sirens. That's exactly what it sounded like when students got the alert. You hear someone speaking as well too, letting the campus know of the threat.
The impact went beyond UNC. Chapel Hill, Carrboro City Schools delayed dismissal as investigators swarmed campus. UNC hospitals secured all entrances and told people to not go there.
This is, of course, not the first time students went on lockdown this year. Campus shut down after police say a grad student shot and killed his student advisor about 3 weeks ago. The campus canceled class for 2 days after that. The suspect shooter, Tyler Chi, faces life in prison and a murder charge. Now, we spoke with a UNC student who barricaded in the same closet in the same classroom as she did during the deadly shooting several weeks ago. She says today felt less chaotic than that incident.
And she says everyone felt more prepared, but it breaks her heart that this is reality.
I think everyone knew what to do a little better this time, but honestly, that's depressing. That is sad. That is horrific that we know what to do now, and the fact that it even happened again and we're able to talk about how we took it better is almost dystopian. Like, this shouldn't be happening.
And we're expecting to get new information as the story develops. Just as Chad mentioned, there is a press conference at 5 o'clock. As always, our app followers will be the first to get any updates.
Well, temperatures today kind of on the money of where we should be this time of the year. Normal high is 82. We're at 83 in Greensboro, at least at PTI, where our records are kept. Burlington, you're at 81. High Point 83. Winston-Salem 82. Mount Airy at 80. Notice the mountain and foothill communities. Yes, they're always a little cooler than us, but maybe not this big of a discrepancy between what we have and they have. That's because they've seen the showers. It's very similar to the pattern that we had yesterday, a lot of it developing north and west and then gradually pushing east. 64 will be the overnight low tonight. We think tomorrow is mostly sunny. That cold front will have passed by overnight tonight, and big differences for high temperatures tomorrow, below normal at 78. Yeah, it'll be kind of a taste of fall, won't it? Here's what the latest radar imagery looks like, and a lot of it moving down toward Davie and Iredell County, going out just to check for any severe thunderstorm warnings, and only one right now that will expire in about 26 minutes here. That's in Catawba County, Dort Hickory, and a lot of that, again, is kind of drifting south and east. Really the heaviest cell we see right now in our immediate viewing area is approaching Moxville right there along I-40. So if you're in that area, just keep an eye out for that. It shouldn't last very long. All of this will move through with the passage of that cold front, which ushers in lower humidity and cooler air. It's going to be really nice. Plus, a side benefit to this thing will also steer Hurricane Lee back out to the east and north. Thank goodness we don't have to deal with that. Long range forecast shows good temperatures. We're seeing 78 Thursday, 76 Friday, all sunshine, 79 and 80 for your weekend with a slight rain chance on Sunday.
Eric, thank you. The manhunt for an escaped prisoner in Pennsylvania is now over. It's been 2 weeks since Daniello Cavalcante broke out of Chester County Prison. Authorities finally able to locate him in a rural area just 30 miles away from Philadelphia. CBS Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
State police in Pennsylvania finally nabbed escaped inmate Danilo Cavalcante, seen here in handcuffs and a damp Eagles sweatshirt as officers led him to a waiting SWAT vehicle Wednesday morning.
Our nightmare is finally over and the good guys won.
The break came around midnight when a burglar alarm went off within the police perimeter in Chester County. Officers didn't find Cavalcante but began to zero in on an area where aircraft picked up a heat source. Around 8 a.m., tactical teams made their move.
They were able to move in very quietly. They had the element of surprise. Cavalcante did not realize he was surrounded until that had occurred.
But he didn't surrender.
He began to crawl through thick underbrush, taking his rifle with him as he went.
A dog finally subdued the suspect.
Thank God there were no injuries to law enforcement or to the public.
Cavalcante broke out of the Chester County Prison 2 weeks ago, crab walking up the walls. His time on the lam included stealing and ditching a van, stealing a .22 caliber rifle from a garage, and putting the entire area on alert.
It's been definitely a fear factor because I have a 4-year-old little boy.
Authorities say Cavalcante will be returned to full justice, serving a life sentence for the murder of his ex-girlfriend in front of her 2 children. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Truist Bank says it's going through a round of layoffs and pay reduction. The Charlotte-based bank says it plans to cut $750 million in costs, including $300 million in worker pay. Truist hasn't said which jobs are affected or when this will all happen. It's also not clear whether this will impact local banks. We'll keep you posted.
Today, High Point police gave out flyers hoping to get information on a murder from earlier this month. Now, High Point police say 1 man was killed and 3 others shot on Creekview Court. Today, we learned 2 of those men have been released from the hospital. 1 is still getting medical care. If you have any information that might help police find a suspect, please call Crime Stoppers. You can leave an anonymous tip.
The NCAA says it's been dealing with threats over an eligibility decision with a UNC football player. Last week, you'll remember it determined Tez Walker won't be eligible this season. Head coach Mack Brown wrote a scathing response. The NCAA called out Brown for his comments and said it's working with law enforcement over the threats. Brown responded saying he'd never intend to incite violence.
School leaders say a brief lockdown was issued at Sternberger Elementary earlier today. The cause is unknown right now, but officials say the lockdown has since been lifted and all students and staff are safe. The school anticipates to dismiss students shortly.
Maybe you've heard about this surprising announcement. The FDA says a popular decongestant does not work. It says the ingredient in Allegra, Dayquil, and other medications is ineffective. Experts say the drugs don't show any improvement in congestion from users. Drug companies have been using the ingredient since 2006 because the previous ingredient can be processed into methamphetamine. The FDA could force drug makers to pull their products from store shelves. We'll be right back.
Hello, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic. It is National Peanut Day. That's right. The U.S. peanut crop in 2022 was 5.5 billion pounds.
Whoa.
That's a lot of nuts, friends. The U.S. loves some peanuts. And I got to tell you, North Carolina is the 4th largest producer of peanuts in the U.S. Any guesses? The states 1 through 3.
Georgia.
Well, that is number 1.
Virginia.
No.
Oh.
I'm having to think.
South,
Yeah, it definitely has to be in the South. South Carolina?
Nope.
Mississippi?
No.
Texas.
Alabama and Florida, friends.
Alabama.
So it goes Georgia, Alabama, Florida, and then North Carolina.
Okay.
Weirdly, Georgia accounts for more than 50% of all the peanut production. That one state alone for the entire U.S.
The only reason I picked them, do you know why?
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
Oh, yeah,
Because I always
peanuts, the
heard
whole
peanut
thing.
farmer from Georgia.
That's right.
You think that they would take on the peanuts then rather than the peaches?
Right? Oh, yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they have the
Georgia
peach
peach.
thing
Georgia
when you
peach.
drive there. You're right. So 2 wants to know, how do you like your peanuts best? So I asked on Facebook, and our News 2 viewers wrote a couple of different things. Carolyn wrote, roasted with the shell on. Me too. Stephen wrote, on sale, LOL, Jif Creamy. Jim's post says, in a payday candy bar. Lynn followed up with dipped in milk chocolate, and then Eddie rounded it out with beer.
With beer.
Yes, I mean, because peanuts, you know, they're kind of like chalky-ish, right? So you need some kind of like something. I do love to shell the peanuts and eat them at a baseball game.
But you have to like suck on the outside first, right, to get the shell, the
I
salt.
only do that if they're the hot boiled peanuts.
Oh, okay.
But if they're the plain peanuts, then you just gotta like, you know, do them with your hands, right?
I love
Can't
boiled
do-
peanuts.
Oh my gosh.
I was just about to ask, how do you like your
do
peanuts?
that.
I
Boiled
do
peanuts.
love a boiled peanut too.
I do not.
Yeah, I prefer no peanut at all. But
really?
yeah, and I'm from Georgia, but my grandma loves peanuts. Loves. I mean, ever since just growing up, she'd always have them in her purse. She just always would have them. But I just can't
You're
get
not a
down with
peanut fan.
peanuts.
Do you like other types of nuts?
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
no.
no trail mix for you.
I do like the trail mix, but I scoot around and get the
the
M&Ms.
raisins and
I get the
the
M&Ms and all the other.
Yogurt, color, yes,
Right.
yes.
And I know some people can't do the boiled peanuts, right? Because they're hot or whatever.
Slimy.
Yeah, I think it's the texture of the
Yes.
peanut because it's so soft.
And I think to myself, as like a 2 wants to know person, would I ever eat something from the side of the road? And the answer is yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I would.
Especially when it says hot boiled peanuts. And then they
I know.
scoop it
For
out.
some reason, you just kind of go, okay.
Let's clarify, she means from a shop on the side of the road, not something lying on the side of the road.
No,
It's
they
like a
usually
stand.
just set up a stand.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
right.
even a
Yeah.
shop. It's just
Especially
like
South
it's like a
Carolina.
big like hot dog thing, and they're just on the side of the road with their truck, and they're like, "Hey, would you like some boiled peanuts?"
some
And I'm like,
boiled
"Yes, I
peanuts.
would."
Central
Yeah.
Florida, all around Gainesville, and you know this. I mean, on all the little rural roads going around it, that's
301.
where you get the good ones.
Boiled peanuts. And in North Carolina, 21 out of 100 counties grow peanuts. It is a cash crop here. Do you have a different favorite cash crop in North Carolina?
Gosh, I'm not sure. What else is that big except, I mean, we don't.
Tobacco?
Sweet potatoes,
Sweet potatoes.
wine.
Yes.
Tobacco.
Think about that. Think of all the wineries we
Oh,
have
that's
in
true.
North
The
Carolina
grapes,
now.
yes.
Like, tobacco really took a back seat,
Yes.
and the new cash crop became like vineyards and wine.
At 2000, the year 2000 was when that started blowing up.
Yeah.
Do you know that I can't even think of what a peanut plant looks like?
Me either.
They're in the ground.
They dig them up, but that's how pathetic.
I can't even think. I can't even
Yeah.
think of what it looks
Really?
like. Yeah.
Now I
I'll
gotta
have
look
to
it up.
find you a peanut plant. All right. Now, in Georgia, there's one town that loves peanuts so much that they have like a big, huge monument. It's behind us. Do you see the peanut monument?
What town is that?
All right. So the hurricane Michael rolled around, right, and then knocked it all down.
Oh.
So they had to raise money to put the peanut statue back in place. And friends, it is happening.
Everybody knows what peanut is. You've been down I-75, and that's just kind of home for everybody.
Right off exit 82 near Fitzgerald in Turner County sits the giant peanut, back on its perch and in its own way waving to drivers as they pass by.
You gonna smile, Linda?
Linda and Len Refuse love to stop at unusual places, and the peanut is right up there.
There was that tin soldier in Texas, too.
They didn't butter things up when they talked about the attraction.
It's not as large as I thought it would be.
Well, the nut itself is only 6 feet high, but its base goes 20 feet into the air. About 4.5 years ago, high winds from Hurricane Michael pushed the peanut to the ground.
It was knocked over and cracked. I mean, it looked like a cracked peanut. We were all just so in shock, I think. It's one of those things you kind of take for granted.
This is now what you would call a hard nut to crack. It is made out of sheet metal instead of fiberglass.
The patch of time where nothing sat on the bricks perplexed a lot of folks who piped up with their displeasure. Ashley Miller with the Ashburn-Turner County Chamber of Commerce worked hard to raise nearly $60,000 to get the peanut project on track.
I mean, I got phone calls at least once a week asking me when we were getting it back.
Our customers would come in daily asking where the peanut was, when it was going back up.
Tabitha Thompson works at Carol's Sausage and Country Store. The folks that peddle pork get a lot of folks thinking the peanut is theirs. It doesn't sit that far from the place.
It was gone a long time, and I'm so happy to see it back up there. That's where it needs to be.
The crown wrapped around the peanut symbolizes that peanuts are king.
But I think it also represents regionally that, you know, you're in South Georgia. This is our economy is built on agriculture. And I hope that when our farmers see it, they see it as what it is as a tribute to them and all the long, hard hours they put in.
The peanut doesn't come with a lot of pageantry. He's just a permanent pop on the road, reminding us of our rural roots. Suzanne.
Well, welcome back. For Muscadine grapes, unlike most traditional grapes, Muscadines are usually sweeter with a thicker skin.
Yeah, the saying goes, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. But when you're talking about Muscadines, the saying is more like the hotter the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Oh yeah, you've got to have that heat and humidity. If you don't have that, you're not going to have that's really worth picking.
Philip Reddick owns Doc's Farm. He says before the heat, the work starts in the chill of the winter.
January, February of the pruning of the vine. Then we come in the spring, fertilize, and then basically you wait for your fruit to grow over the summer.
Right after July's summer heat cooked flavors on the muscadine vine, the harvest comes in mid-August, and the last of the muscadines come off the vine in mid-September.
You want, the muscadine has to have a hot, humid climate to thrive. That's what makes the plant grow and what makes the fruit grow.
The fruit is native to the southeastern region of the United States, where the plant can expect that exact type of environment to grow in. This season, the fruit definitely thrived at Doc's Farm, according to Reddick.
This season, we've really had a lot of fruit production, probably more than any that we've had, because we had a mild type spring, we had plenty of rain, and then of course, July came in and we had extreme temperatures.
The hot sun helped produce a fruitful harvest.
In our state, muscadines are such a favorite that a state senator actually proposed a bill that would make its juice available in all primary schools statewide. Okay. Muscadines are already the official fruit of North Carolina.
I didn't know that. I love them.
I'm not really a muscadine fan. We were just talking about the seeds is kind of the part that's just kind of, but they sometimes give me headaches.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Chad has a thing too with them. Right?
So I love eating them. They're so good. But for some reason, I think I might have a little bit of an allergic reaction to them because my lips kind of burn, are very sensitive afterward. Yeah.
My thing is, it's not I love the way they taste. It's just I get annoyed because you have to get through all the seeds, and I just want to eat something.
Yeah.
If they could genetically make them without the seeds, I would love that.
They taste so good. They really do. I just can't eat too many of them.
Can you get muscadine juice in it? Like just the juice? Is that
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's what they want to do in schools.
And wine,
I know
the
about
muscadine wine.
But the juice, I would love. I think they taste great. So.
You know, I think that muscadine grapes are like for dogs, how they have Kongs, where you really have to work to get the food.
So frustrating. Now I know what my dog feels like. I'll never do that to you again. Let's talk about our forecast, because I hate picking through those seeds. It drives me nuts. You have to eat them outside, that's for sure. Let's talk about temperatures and rain. And our temperatures right now, low 80s, except for the mountain and foothill communities where they've already seen some rain, so they're in the 70s. But most of the rain that we're seeing right now is pushing down through Davie County. That's about it for the immediate viewing area. You have to go all the way down toward Hickory to see anything strong, and that severe thunderstorm warning has already expired. They have let that go. So it had some rain earlier in Surrey and Yadkin counties, and now that's moving down to Davie, but it's really losing steam. Now, does that mean that we won't see anything for the rest of the night? Absolutely not. We still have a chance, even in the overnight period, so we'll watch for that. Here's your 7-day with great fall-like weather coming up. Sunny, 78, low humidity tomorrow. How nice is that? 76 Friday with a cooler start to the morning at 54. Upper 70s close to 80 for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. No rain except a mention on Sunday of a 30% chance afternoon. And then Wednesday, partly cloudy, back to the low 80s again at 81.
Oh, hi, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. 1 second, it might not be on. Hi.
On what?
On that stain.
Oh, stain. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Hi there, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever together.
Test, 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 testing 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. There's more. Oh my goodness.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, mic check.
Well, big shout out to 19-year-old Coco Gauff. Over the weekend, the athlete won the U.S. Open in New York, becoming the youngest woman to do it since Serena Williams back in 1999. So many big celebrities were in the stands to watch the incredible moment, including Keith Urban, Leonardo DiCaprio, Spike Lee, and Tom Brady. But most importantly, her family. It was beautiful seeing how excited they were for their loved one receiving such an incredible honor. This got me thinking, for all the 19-year-old young women, I hope this accomplishment encourages you that you can do anything you put your mind to. Whether it's tennis, golf, playing an instrument, or singing, whatever it is, with hard work and a support system, you'd be surprised just how far your talents will take you. When I was 19, I had a lot of dreams and aspirations, and I'm so proud to say I am walking in one of my dreams as a TV news anchor. God is so good. So keep going, don't give up, and who knows, maybe you could be the next Coco Gauff. And that's just my 2 cents, and that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
Attention, armed, dangerous person going inside.
An all too familiar scene today at UNC Chapel Hill. Law enforcement flooding the campus after reports of an armed person on or near the campus.
The students huddled in classrooms, many of them in the same place when a deadly shooting occurred on